okay, Mom. Come
Okay.
on, Mom.
Okay.
Come on, Mom. You can do it. My name is Xin Xin Ferreras and Cici. Your name?
And my name is Marlene Ferreras. I met Xin Xin first in a photo that the adoption agency sent me. But then we met in person in 2019, and Xin Xin was very little. She was 2 years old, and I learned in those files that one of the things that she was struggling with was thalassemia major. People with thalassemia major, like Xin Xin, they do not produce healthy red blood cells. Hemoglobin, which is responsible for helping us to carry oxygen around our body, needs to have healthy chains, the beta and alpha chains, and for Xin Xin, her beta chains don't work. She doesn't produce healthy red blood cells to give oxygen to all her body. So every 21 days, we have to go and get blood transfusions. And people that donate, essentially what they're doing is providing her with healthy red blood cells that can do for her body what her bone marrow is not able to do. When we go for blood transfusions, we wake up very early in the morning, and
I don't like to wake up.
You don't like waking up early in the morning. It's not fun because we get up before the sun is up, and we drive to CHLA because that's where our doctors are, our experts in thalassemia. And we come in and they first put an ouchie, right? And you usually tell them where you want the ouchie. Right there. Yeah. And sometimes they put it in the other one, right? And they take it out, they take out some blood, and they tell us what level her hemoglobin is. That's usually what we struggle with. And depending on her hemoglobin level, we know how much blood she needs to raise her hemoglobin so that we're good for the next 21 days. Sometimes we need a lot of blood because if Xin Xin gets sick, then her hemoglobin drops pretty low. And sometimes we don't need as much, but we always need blood because her thalassemia condition makes it so that she doesn't produce what she needs.
Always need blood to run very fast.
So right now what's really hard is that we've been living through pandemic. And as people have gotten sick, it's included healthcare workers and also healthy donors. And we've never seen a blood shortage at this level. When CHLA contacted me and told me that they were going to need to restrict how much blood we get, it felt akin to like what they might tell you if they can't give you enough food, right? Like we're going to give you some, but maybe not enough so that you're not hungry. And so while it takes care of the problem, I think like for every parent, right? You want to see your kids thriving and providing everything that they need. But it's hard when we've all been struggling in different ways. And for us, we've not just struggled with, sheltering in place and wearing masks and doing all those public health kind of precautions that are responsible that we've needed to do. But we've also needed to worry about the blood supply. So one of the most beautiful things about doing life with Xin Xin and also living with the condition of thalassemia major is that the majority of blood in my daughter's body, it doesn't belong to her. And when direct donor bags come, and I know the community that holds us up, it's created a sense of like family and connection with extended family in a way that I had never experienced before or even thought about before. I think this season is an opportunity to grieve, to mourn, to hang on to the permission that the cross gives us to cry and lament over the violence and the tragedies of life. But at the same time, like, we're a people of the resurrection, right? And I watch Resurrection every 21 days. When they hook up Xin Xin to her blood bag and they start infusing blood into her, I see a little girl be revived. Our lives are so connected to the lives of others that in giving, you're giving Xin Xin red blood cells. And so the majority of blood that runs through my daughter's body, it doesn't belong to her. It belongs to the larger community, right? When we go to get our blood transfusions, we sit next to families who themselves, right? We talk about the suffering Christ, themselves are bearing their own crosses, whether that's cancer or sickle cell. That's the majority of kind of what's around us, whether they're receiving chemotherapy. They also need blood.
You can't do it now.
Yeah. And we've heard nurses having to make some of the most difficult choices and conversations where they have to ration blood and decide who gets how much. We just want to say thank you to everyone who donates. You are not just blessing us directly, which you are, but if you could only come into the Children's Hospital Los Angeles and see all these families and kids, you would know what a gift it is to know that your kid has the blood that they need to sustain them through their treatment for cancer, or to give them healthy red blood cells that their own bodies can't produce for things like sickle cell or thalassemia. You bring us life. You bear hope. And so when I think of resurrection, I don't just think of the Jesus who rose from the dead. I also think of the community that rose up with Jesus, willing to give and invest in life, because hope is also rooted in our demonstrating how that more abundant life comes to be through our faithful discipleship in investing in the world and going about the ministry of Jesus in the here and now.
I am Cici.
And I am Marlene.
Ferreras.
And we are in the
house.